To be the network of the Orange Bowl. In 1918, America was embroiled in World War I. Woodrow Wilson was president, and the Boston Red Sox beat the Chicago Cubs in the World Series. Now, 68 years later, the Sox are on the brink of another championship. Lifelong Red Sox fan Dick Casey was in the stands the last time. He remembers that series, and a Red Sox pitcher named Babe Ruth.
Ruth pitched the first game and won. 1-0. Imagine that, 1-0. That was in Chicago he played, see? He pitched 2 games in 1918. He pitched the first or fourth game in 1918. He won both of them. But he had to have a relief from Joe Bush in 1918. I pray to God that I don't die until I see another World Series winner. So this is my year. I must be going to die pretty soon.
Inside Look. Brought to you by Apple Computers, makers of the Apple II and Macintosh families of personal computers. And by the Ford Motor Company. At Ford, quality is job one. Temperatures in the low 50s, a clear and chilly night at Shea Stadium, and Met fans chilled by the prospect that with one more defeat, their team, which over the course of the season has been baseball's best, will come up short in their quest for a world championship. Hello again, everybody. I'm Bob Costas. The pitchers tonight. Roger Clemens, who didn't pitch all that well in Game 2 here at Shea Stadium, had a no decision. He goes for the Red Sox, trying to wrap things up. The Mets give the ball back to Bob Ojeda, who pitched well at Fenway and posting their first victory of the World Series against the Red Sox. Now, when you consider the psychology on either side of the field, it's an interesting situation. Obviously, both teams are emotionally involved. Each would be a deserving world champion. But for the Red Sox, if they should win either tonight or tomorrow, it would be the fulfillment of a dream. For the Mets, some would say it would just be mission accomplished. A Red Sox loss would be disappointing. A Met loss, devastating, because after all, there are those who will say, whether it's fair, whether it's logical, whether it's reasonable, that if the Mets don't win at all, they have somehow failed. Tonight's pitcher, Bob Ojeda, understands.
Well, I think this is kind of hard not to look at that. We won a lot of ball games regular season. We fought our way through, and really, I mean fought our way through Houston to get to where we are today. And I believe in us, and I believe we can win on Saturday. We can win this thing on Sunday. But we're going to have to do it. Right now, it's all speculation. Right now, they're saying the same thing. But we have to go out and just do what we can do. We can't put added pressure on ourselves. We can't think we are back in this corner. We can't think about that. We have to go out and just play our game. Everybody rely on each other again.
What about pitching on 3 days rest? Will this be the first time this year?
I think I did it one other time this year, but I think at this time of the season, it's overrated, you know, the one more day rest. I don't think it's necessary unless there's an injury, and I don't have any. So it's just a question of mentally being ready for it, which I am and we all are.
Marv Albert joins us now. And Marv, from Boston's perspective, if the Red Sox are to clinch it tonight, it would be appropriate if the certain Cy Young Award winner Roger Clemens is on the mound when they do.
Bob, Roger Clemens was hit hard in game number 2. It was a flu-ridden Clemens pitching on only 3 days rest for the 3rd straight time, and he wasn't comfortable here at Shea, a subject I discussed with him.
I feel that I wasn't at full strength. I was coming off the flu, and the things that I did out there at Shea last time, that I just got a false impression. I thought my legs would be strong, and it was the cool air giving me that false impression. And I went out there and let loose for about 4 innings, and kind of monkey jumped on my back a little bit, and I just got extremely tired, and then I started trying to do too much with the ball, and when I start doing that, I'm not effective.
No Clemens wasn't effective in Game 2, but tonight he feels he's back on target with the 5 days between starts, and he's seeking to recapture the form that produced that record of 24-4 during the regular season. We'll be back with Darryl Strawberry of the Mets, a target of Red Sox fans this past Thursday night up at Fenway. Welcome back to Shea Stadium in New York. For Darryl Strawberry of the Mets, it's been a season of highs and lows, both going to extremes. Now, he is a man accustomed to the spotlight. Now, this past Thursday night up at Fenway, he was center stage as the target of Red Sox fans. Darryl, what was your reaction to the taunting of the crowd at Fenway in Boston?
Well, I think it was fun. You know, I had a great time because it reminds me a little bit of Chicago, but this is the World Series time right now, and the crowd is going to be on you and try to distract you from your game.
Was it really a great time?
I didn't feel bad about it. Most people thought I felt bad about it, but it just shows you how much attention everybody's paying to you, and it's good to know that people care about you.
Well, here at Shea, it's been an up-and-down relationship with the fans. Do you think they've been unfair? Because you've heard the boos.
Well, at times I think it's been unfair for the fans to point fingers at one particular player on the ball club. I think it's unfair, and, you know, it's just something that happens, and it's something that you really don't have control over, and you just have to continue to go out there and try to do your best.
Darryl, you finished the regular season strong. You hit the 2 home runs, big home runs against the Astros, but at one point in the postseason, you had struck out 17 times in 32 at-bats. Several Red Sox players felt that you were confused. Is that accurate?
Well, you could say a little bit. I'm trying a little too hard and not really having the good concentration like you really want to have. Postseason play for the first time. I think I got a little bit too excited for it and wanted to try to do too much and rather stand within myself and just being myself. But right now I'm at the point where I feel very confident and feel that I'm going to do well for the rest of the series.
All right, the Mets win 108 games during the regular season, a gripping victory in the playoff against Houston. But if you lose tonight, it's all over. What goes through your mind when you think about the possibility that the season could end right here?
Well, the only thing that goes through your mind right now at this point is to go out and try to win, and hopefully it's not over, because it'll be a long winter, and it'll be a very boring winter, knowing that you was in the World Series and you had a great year and you didn't win the World Series.
All right, thank you, Darryl.
All right, thank you very much, Juan.
All right, and from the Met point of view, let's go to Bob Costas and the Boston dugout.
All right, Marv, with us now, Marty Barrett. And Marty, I heard you comment after Game 5 as you passed Thurman Munson's record for postseason hits. Maybe someone of greater stature should have done it.
Yeah, I'm sure that, you know, if Thurman's up there looking down, he probably wished somebody like a Wade Boggs or a Jim Rice or somebody probably would have done it. But, you know, I got to take it.
You know, Marty Barrett might not be the Red Sox best hitter, but Marty Barrett is a pretty good everyday ball player whom the country is now getting a chance to know thanks to the playoffs and World Series.
Well, that's awful nice. You know, it's nice to do well in postseason, and as you well know, Bob, you get hot during the season, you're cold during the season, and I think it's just a matter of luck whether you're hot in the playoffs, and I guess I'm fortunate to be lucky in the playoffs.
Would you agree with this notion? Sure, the Red Sox want to win very badly, but if you should lose the World Series, that might be disappointing, whereas from the Mets' perspective, if they lose, because everyone expected them to win, it's devastating.
Well, I think at this point in the series, if you would have said that at the start of the series, I would have said that's a correct statement, but at this point in the series, I think it'd be pretty devastating if we lost it 2-0.
Because you're ahead, or because you honestly believe you are as good or better than the Mets?
Well, I thought we were as good as it was, but, you know, they were having that Chicago Bear type season for baseball. But, hey, we're ahead 3-2 with 2 games left with our best man out on the hill with 5 days rest going against their man with 3 days rest. I mean, we should win.
What about Bobby Ojeda? Did he look like a different guy than the one who used to pitch with you fellas a year ago?
No, he was exactly the same. You know, a lot of changes, keep the ball away and not make too many mistakes. And really what we're hoping for is that the 3 days rest to cause him to have a little less control. And when he doesn't have his control, that's when he can get hurt.
Speculate a little bit. If Clemens were to be beaten tonight, how would you guys feel going in with Boyd against Darling in Game 7?
Well, I would still feel comfortable. I'd feel that they would have a little edge because of the momentum, and Darling has done well. He's proven that he can do well on 3 days rest. It would be a real intense game, I think, and I would have to feel that the Mets would probably be in a little small advantage at that point.
Thank you, Marty. We'll be back with more in a minute. They're rolling. roaring at Shea as the Mets have just been introduced. You know, whenever a team marches to a Super Bowl or a World Series, everybody in town wants to hop on the bandwagon, including those who produce song parodies. In fact, up in Boston, some folks are downright delirious.
The Red Sox are World Series. This town has gone delirious. 'Cause the Sox are World Series. The Red Sox are World Series. Sailing in Dykstra, he is getting set. Ooh, but he won't strike out. Lenny and the Nets. Oh, when they win, it's so wonderful. Oh, Gary Carter, he's a catching man. He wears a catcher's mask and a glove to match, and he squats down without splitting his seam. Halloo, Red Sox of Boston. Halloo. Saw Jim Rice with a Louisville slugger in his hand, swinging for the Red Sox of Boston. Saw Earl Ken Boyd with a fastball in his hand. We live in New York, a real sports town. We're crazy about Keith, Mookie, and Couple. We yell all night doing the Shea Met Shuffle. Oh, Joe, let's go. Oh, Joe, let's go. Say, hey, Dr. K, we never miss a chance. We get up and dance and do the Shea Met Shuffle. We got Clemens, Evans, Baylor, Boston, Buckner, too. And Rice can hit a rocket clear to Timbuktu. Just watch them take the field out on the Fenway Green. They look just like a doggone all-star team. Let's rock. Everybody, Red Sox. Let's go, let's go. We got the teamwork to make the dream work. Let's go. Let's go, let's go. We're gonna make it this time. We're gonna take it home. Let's go. Let's go, let's go. Yeah, dance to do the Red Sox rock. Just dance to do the Red Sox rock. Yeah.
And they never even got around to Green Monster Mash. Somehow I think the legacy of George and Ira Gershwin is safe. Time now for the national anthem. Here's the PA man at Shea Stadium, Jack Franchetti.
Game 6 of the 1986 World Series is brought to you by Miller Genuine Draft. Cold filtered for real draft smoothness. It's beer at its best. By Merrill Lynch, your world should know no boundaries. By the American Express card, don't leave home without it. And by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Hi, everybody. I'm Vin Scully, and welcome to Game 6. The last time the Boston Red Sox won a World Series, the Doughboys were dug in the trenches of France, Mademoiselle Armentières, and finally, Johnny came marching home. They're trying to do it again tonight, and they're giving the ball to the best pitcher in the American League, Roger Clemens, who was almost a Met. For New York, Bobby Ojeda, who is pitching magnificently in the postseason. He won Game 2 of the playoffs following a loss. He helped keep Houston away and chase the specter of Mike Scott in Game 6. He won Game 3 at Fenway to prevent the nightmare of a Red Sox sweep. Well, Bobby Ojeda and Roger Clemens, it's the Mets who are dug in the trenches, the Red Sox making the charge. Let's meet the manager, the general of the Mets, Davey Johnson, and we'll go to Joe Garagiola.
Okay, Vin, it does begin with you, Davey. Are you going to do anything different? Have you done anything different?
Not really, Joe. You know, I didn't have a clubhouse meeting or something before the game and say this is a big one. I say that about 60 times a year. This is a big one. The guys know it. This is a very pivotal game for us.
Is it simple that you got here with this ball club, and this is the ball club you're going to finish with?
There's no doubt about it. You know, I got here by playing a lot of people, but the people that have played the best for me are going to be playing down to the wire.
Did you at least go over the hitters with Ojeda?
Bobby's pretty smart. He kind of uses a different pattern every time up with a different hitter. Sometimes he'll go more dead fish, another time he'll go more with his fastball. But that's between Gary and Ojeda, and I don't try to get too involved in that.
How would you describe your clubhouse?
I would say we're loose. You know, I'd say we're we feel good about ourselves. The bats have been swinging, and the offense is going pretty good. You know, we're going against the rest of Clemens. That's going to be tough for us.
Good luck to you, Davey.
Thanks, Joe.
We'll see what happens right after these messages.
Here's the lineup for the visiting Boston Red Sox. At third base, Wade Boggs. At second base, a standout in the series, Marty Barrett. At first base, Bill Buckner. In left field, hitting cleanup, Jim Rice. In right field, Dwight Evans. Behind the plate, Rich Gedman. In center field, Dave Henderson. The shortstop, Spike Owen, batting eighth. And the pitcher who will take his turns with the bat, Roger Clemens, on the mound.
Here's the way the Mets will line up on defense. As Davey said, the guys who play the best will be in the lineup, and this is what he goes against right-hand pitching. Wilson, Dykstra, Strawberry in the outfield. Ninth, Santana, Backman at second base. Hernandez at first. Carter behind the plate. Ojeda, the pitcher.
Bobby Ojeda making his second World Series appearance. He won Game 3 at Fenway 7-1. He made 2 starts in the playoffs. He was 1-0 against Houston, picking up the victory in Game 2. Pitched well enough to hold on for Jesse Orozco to win Game 6. He was an 18-game winner during the year, and he came to New York in the deal with Boston that sent, among others, Calvin Schiraldi to the Red Sox.
Ojeda had only 2 fly balls in his last game against the Red Sox. 7 ground balls, fastball, curve, slider change. But as you heard Davey Johnson say, he'll throw you that dead fish, that change of pace. His biggest plus, changing speeds. He will come inside, but he can spot that ball on the outside corner. He is a good pitcher.
It will be noisy here at Shea on Saturday night. It is a festive, highly enthusiastic crowd as Wade Boggs awaits the first pitch. A strike. 1 strike. And there's a hopper off the glove at third of Knight, and Santana can't pick it up, and Boggs is aboard. So we'll await the judgment from the 3 official scorers.
It's pretty apparent that Boggs was going to go to the opposite field all the way. Knight just does flick, and Santana looks like he might be able to make a play, but he can't find the handle. Second base. And Boggs is on.
With a base hit, the official score just flashing this on. And that's one of the many reasons an unexpected guest at Shea Stadium. You drop by, literally and figuratively.
That's about the only way to beat the traffic in this town.
1 ball, and everybody got a kick out of it. 1-0 to count to Bill Buckner, and I'll tell you what, Wally Backman almost jumped out of his uniform when that man came down in front of him at second base.
And why not?
Not holding, and the pitch is in the dirt. We threw him a 3-2 change. And the Sox have 2 on, 2 out, and Dwight Evans coming up. Boggs at second, Rice at first, 2 out. High drive up the alley in left center field. That's trouble, heading for the wall and off the wall. Dykstra plays it. 1 run will score on a double by Evans, and Rice holds at third. So Dwight Evans hits the left center field wall for a long double and a run batted in. And with first base open, the left-hand hitting Rich Gedman coming up.
Ball well hit, but played perfectly by Dykstra. He gets that carom in good shape, hits the cutoff man, and with that, Latchman holds Rice at third.
So for the Mets, who won 108 during the regular season, 4 in the League Championship Series, 2 in the World Series, 114 wins, not enough. And they go in trailing in the first inning against Roger Clemens. Fly ball to right center, a late start, but it's high enough for Strawberry to put it away. However, the Red Sox get a run on 2 hits and leave 2. At at the end of half an inning. Sox 1, Mets coming up. We have not had a team come from behind in this 1986 World Series, and the Mets are fully cognizant of that. And here are the fellas who are going to try and do it for the first time in 1986. Len Dykstra in center, and Wally Backman at second base. Keith Hernandez at first, and Gary Carter clean up behind the plate. Darryl Strawberry in right field. Ray Knight at third. Mookie Wilson in left field. Rafael Santana, the shortstop, batting ninth, the pitcher, Bobby Ojeda.
And the defense for the Red Sox, Rice, Henderson, and Evans in the outfield. Boggs, Owen at short, Barrett at second base, Buckner at first base, Gedman behind the plate. Clemens is on the mound. I must say, Ben, I'm still waiting for Dykstra to at least test Buckner.
Well, we see that might very well be the trick tonight. Roger Clemens is attempting to clinch his 4th championship in the last 4 years. He was the winning pitcher in the final game of the '83 College World Series. Then, while pitching for the New Britain Red Sox, he won the Eastern League Championship. In the 7th game of this year's American League Championship Series, he beat California. And, of course, now he's out there trying to clinch it for Boston tonight.
Outstanding fastball. He can ride it high, and that's the pitch. Even talking to Tom Paciorek before the game, he said, you better lay off that high fastball. He can sink it. He's got a slider, curve, a forkball, and he can work that strike zone in and out and up and down. And I think that's rare when you can work a strike zone up and down.
Well, Lenny Dykstra will be the first one to test him, followed by Wally Backman and then Keith Hernandez. Remember, where Ojeda is working on 3 days rest, Clemens is working on 5 days rest. So Dykstra right after him with a full swing. 2-2. Got him.
And he did it with fastballs. He did not give him any off-speed pitches or anything but that great fastball.
0-2 to Backman. Got him, and he took something off that. Off-speed pitch for strike 3. Infield. And that's hit out of the infield, but right there is Dave Henderson. So Hernandez is gone, so are the Mets in order. And at the end of an inning, it's the Red Sox 1 and the Mets nothing. Through the legs of Ojeda into center field to a 1-out single by Spike Owen. That is hit number 3 for the Sox, and it will bring up Clemens. Dykstra shading and cheating, and Knight ready to charge anyway, and the bunt is fouled, and Clemens has struck out. There goes Owen, and there's a base hit through the hole vacated by Backman. On his way to third is Owen, and they'll hold him on a strong throw by Strawberry that's cut off by Hernandez. What a job of execution. Backman broke to cover second, and Boggs drilled it right to the vacated spot. Line drive to left, and it's a base hit. Scoring is Owen, stopping at second is Boggs. And the Sox are on top 2-0.
And once again, Marty Barrett's right in the middle of it.
For Davy Johnson and the Mets, they can't afford to fall back too much, especially with Roger Clemens on the mound for Boston. So immediately there'll be activity in the Mets bullpen.
I tell you, you watch that Marty Barrett, and then you think about him on the pregame show as we look at Aguilera. When he said Thurman Munson may be looking down thinking one of the big hitters should break his record, but I did it.
Spike Owen coming in with run number 2 in the inning. So it is a different Bobby Ojeda indeed, and the tip-off, as we said, the ball's in the first inning that will hit out of the infield. And that's driven to right, but Strawberry going back, almost turned the wrong way and makes the catch. That ball fooled him, but Darryl stayed with it and made the play. 1 run, 3 hits, 2 more left for the Sox. That makes it 4. Now he has to twist and go back to get it. And at the end of an inning and a half, 2-0 Boston. At 6-6. He was able to reach up and pull it down. That will give us a chance just to mention that Rick Aguilera has stopped throwing in the Mets bullpen. 2-2. Strawberry goes. Strike 3 on a bad ball. He's in there, second base safely. Knight chased 2 high fastballs to strike out.
Nonchalantly goes into second base and takes the throw. He's not just standing there and then walks into it and tries to make the tag, and he thought he had him. Strawberry, a straight steal. He's one of those fellas that Johnson says, go when you got a chance. Barrett really did a job of decoying, but Strawberry didn't go for it. He didn't buy the decoy, and he's safe.
And Clemens got away with it. 2 rising fastballs. 1 and 2. Got him on the corner. 4 strikeouts for Roger Clemens. At the end of 2-0 Boston. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. Double to drive in Bars. Big change curveball. Got him looking. Oh, what a rainbow job that was. Got him on the big sweeping curve. 3 strikeouts for Ojeda. The crowd trying to spur him on now, and at the end of 2 1/2, the Red Sox 2, the Mets nothing. Breaking ball got him. So with all the smoke, he strikes out number 5 with a curve. Bad pitch, strikeout number 6, and 3 in a row for. And there's a one-hopper to shortstop. Little English on it, but Owen throws him out, and the Mets are gone in order. And at the end of 3, Clemens has struck out 6, not allowed a hit. 2-0 Boston. Red Sox. And base hit into left field. Though we still haven't seen a Red Sox batter hit one on the ground for an out. In the air, foul, Carter.
I tell you, his coach must be just jumping up and down because not a very good attempt. It was an easy play. Everybody could have made that play. Ojeda, Hernandez, Carter, Bat Boy.
You know what's interesting, and it's one of those amazing angles in this series. Roger Clemens, coach at San Antonio Junior College, is a former New York Met.
Telling me he called him up and he said, we got to sign Clemens. Casco said, how much? And the scout said, I don't care. Sign him. I'll put my job on the line.
And as you tell that story, there's a scout in Michigan named Jim Terrell who scouts for the Mets, who must shake his head and think about the big one that got away. Over $5,000 for one. Joe McElwain finally went down to look at Clemens on 2 different weekends to decide whether to pay him the $25,000, and the games were rained out each time. And Joe came back and said, well, I guess some things are not meant to be. And another fisted foul. Boggs might have a play. Leans in. Help him out of there, Harry. He got it.
How do you like that?
Harry Wendelstedt had to lift him out of the crowd.
And that fastball was just a little bit higher as we look at Boggs. Now he finds the stands. He looks again. He finds it and reaches over and watch Wendelstedt. He's staying right with him. He wants to see if that ball's there. Now a fan can knock it out of his hands because he's reached into the stands. That would be okay, no interference, but he shows him the ball.
They got the right umpire to do the job of lifting him out.
Well, he could lift 2 or 3 of those photographers.
Hit a breaking ball at the end of the bat, and Clemens takes care of him. The Carter, badly fooled, hits back to the box, and the Mets are gone again. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. But has not scored a run. There's another base hit for Barrett, and he's 2 for 3. Barrett's not going. On ball 4. So Ojeda walks his second man. 2 on, 2 out, and Rich Gedman coming up. He's flied to right, and you remember struck out on 3 big curveballs in the 3rd inning. And another one that's looped to left. Mookie is there. So the Red Sox, as they've done throughout the series, lead 2 more. They've left 7, and it's still 2-0. Ball 4. It's a little early to see Roger, but then again, it's getting so very, very late. And Davey and Mel Stottlemyre know it. 1-2. Strawberry goes. Fastball in the dirt. Gedman's throw. He's in there. In Spike Owens' glove, and I thought maybe the shortstop might try the hidden ball trick. What? Now Owen has it, but Strawberry evidently was aware of it. It'll go right out of Barrett's glove, and now he sees him pick it up. Hit up the middle, base hit. Here comes Strawberry, and he will score. Committed only 2 errors since July. And the batter, Bob Ojeda, who has found himself even 2-2. Ground ball to Marty Barrett. And that's it. But the Mets get 2, and they are alive and well. And the crowd is on its feet at Shea at the end of 5. A 2-2 tie. Involving Dwight Evans.
He's got his glove down, and it just seems to take almost like a little bit of a bad hop, but he's watching that runner all the way, which may be a factor. I tell you, it was just a funny way for him to feel that ball.
And it allowed Knight to get to second, eventually to third, where he scored on the double play to tie it up. How would you like to be Kevin Elster? He is 22 years old. He was drafted by the Mets 2 years ago. Came up from Jackson Double-A, and he's the shortstop in a must-win game in the World Series. And another change hit up the middle, and here's Elster. The 22-year-old gets him. So Kevin gets his feet wet. He was a Texas League All-Star team member this year. Fastball. He was late. Ground ball fielded by Hernandez, who flips it behind the pitcher covering.
Looked like Keith was a bit undecided as to how he was going to give it to Ojeda, and he'll talk to him about it. He was just kind of no man's land. Once he gets it, he kind of hesitates here. He doesn't really know what to do with it. Almost a basketball flip. And Owen is on. And it's going to go as a base hit. The old story, it'll look like a line drive in the box score. He's 3 for 3. He was actually moving towards third base and really couldn't get anything on that flip. And here's Clemens with another chance to bump that ball. And remember. And the bunt is to Hernandez. He's going to go to second just in time. And that was a good bunt by Clemens, but Hernandez's daring is what made that play. And the difference in this play and the other one is you watch him get the ball and set himself. Now he breaks in immediately. A good bunt. Now watch him set himself now. There he does, and he gets something on the throw and gets his man. That's the joy of a left-handed first baseman, because you don't have to turn that upper torso. You can just gun it. And when he gets his man, everybody in the ballpark knows it. Now you have Roger Clemens in the strange role of a base runner. Brick shy of a load. Clemens 1 pitch shy of averaging 20 pitches an inning, which of course would be quite a load to carry in the 9th inning. That it would be. Got him off speed with a little break at the tail, and Dykstra frozen at the plate. And it's hit to the hole, smothered. A great stop by Spike Owen, too late. There he goes. And there's a line drive base hit. Backman on his way to third. Henderson has to throw it into first. If you noticed on that play, Spike Owen was breaking to cover, and Backman has to run around him. However, Henderson couldn't come up with the ball cleanly to make a play on him. First and third, 1 out in the 6th, the 2-2 tie. And Gary Carter, trying to break Crawford, is now throwing in the Red Sox bullpen. Got him looking outside corner. He went with the fastball and took a shot at that outside corner. You could see Gedman give that target, and Clemens really hit it. And there's the yardstick. What do you do with a man on third base in less than 2 outs? He needed to strike on. Look at that glove. So now it's Darryl Strawberry, front and center, and a frustrated Carter back on the pine. Ground ball hard, but at Barrett, he hangs it to Owen for the force on Hernandez. And the Mets waste a golden chance, and Carter has to forget about it. We'll be back after these messages. We go to the 7th inning in a 2-2 tie. 14-game winner Roger McDowell, with the 22 saves during the regular year, will now make his 4th appearance in the World Series. He has been in games 1, 3, 4, and now 6. He does not have a decision. His earned run average, however, is almost 4. In 4 2/3 innings, he has given up 2 earned runs, 3 walks, and 5 hits. And he lost him. Ball 4. So Barrett, with 2 singles and a walk, goes to first, and that will bring up Buckner, Rice, and Evans. And the runner goes, and the pitch is hit up the middle. Back to get it is Backman, and they make the play. So they put a hit-and-run play on to avoid the double play. They not only avoid it, but Buckner gets his man up 90 feet to second base. So that was a good bit of hitting. Roller to third. Knight charging. High throw off Hernandez's glove, and over to third goes Barrett. A routine play gets away by Ray Knight.
Just a slow roller against a slow runner. He had plenty of time, and he threw it away.
You'll see it. Nothing tough about it.
And not only does he lose Rice, but since it's such a bad throw, he allows Barrett to get over to third. And now the Mets have a problem. It is indeed strength against strength. They're going to have a sinker ball pitcher against a low ball hitter, Dwight Evans.
That ball just sailed right up and over Hernandez's glove. They had a meeting as to who would be covering, and you see Backman now talking to McDowell, pointing to the shortstop. They're still not sure. Backman just hollered in, but they are sure now.
It's interesting that because of Dwight Evans' error, Ray Knight turned around to be the tying run. Now because of Knight's error, Dwight Evans has a chance to untie the score. They climb that one. There's ball 3, almost a wild pitch.
He really overthrew that one. It's a good play getting that ball. Backhands it. That glove with that break in the middle, much like a first baseman's mitt, what made the difference on that play.
No pitch. The plate umpires have allowed that to happen throughout the series, and that really is not the way the rule is in the book. But they have allowed the hitter to ask, and they have granted time even though the pitcher is in the middle of his delivery.
You got to believe that in the playoffs and World Series they really stretched that rule book, because Davey is really upset.
Sure.
What's going on?
It's not supposed to be. You're not supposed to allow a man to do that. Rice goes. Sinker is hit down to second. They can't get the double play. Safe at second, out at first. And the run is in. So that was the big play. Do you turn Rice loose or don't you? If he's not going, they get the double play. But he was going, and he was not only there, but safe. And the run is in. So the error gets even larger. Otherwise, the inning is over.
He got the sinker in a good spot, and there you see Rice sliding in safe. And it's a decision that'll get lost in the box score. But McNamara, if it's a strikeout, it's a throw him out. But he makes the move, lets Rice start, and gets the big run. Watch Barrett scoring the tie-breaking run.
So a key decision by John McNamara. 0-2. Sinker hit into the hole. Now they're going to wave Rice in. Mookie's got a chance to get him to Carter. He is out at the plate.
Mookie lets it go on a fly. Carter, once he catches the ball, he knows he can ride Rice inside. Now he makes him slide to the inside, never gets the whole plate. Watch Dale Ford. He wants to see if Carter holds the ball, and once he does, he calls him out. But Carter rides him inside.
It is 3-2 Boston. Ray Knight is very much a part of New York and a part of this game. It was Knight who was able to score a run in the 5th inning to tie up the game, and it is Knight's error on the throw to Hernandez that gives the Red Sox the go-ahead run. It's the kind of a play you live with all through the long winter. Since McDowell is due up 4th, Jesse Orozco begins to throw, and so forth. The second time tonight, Roger Clemens has been given a lead. Earlier 2-0, now 3-2. And Calvin Schiraldi, the former Met, begins to throw back of Clemens. The Mets have not dragged one bunt towards Buckner at first in 6 games.
That's really hard to believe.
Yeah, it sure is.
It's completely off. He doesn't want to run that count to 3-2. He'll want it to happen right here. He's too good a pitcher to take it deep.
Now he's finishing up for Santana. Fastball, pop foul off first. Buckner limping over, but it's going to be out of play. Billy trying to climb the tarp roller. Has changed yet again. Remember the other night he had 1 high top and 1 regular. He's back to 2 high tops.
Tell you, he's leading this series in conversations.
And it's a fly ball to right center. Henderson is there. So the Mets go quietly in the 7th inning. It's the first time they've been retired in order since the 4th. And at the end of 7, 3-2 Boston. McNamara and Dwight Evans back to the lead again. Ground ball hard to Elster, up his arm and on out into center. That thing was hit hard and it ate him up.
He looked like he was in great position and may have taken a bad hop at the last minute. We'll watch it because he looks like he's ready right here. He's in good shape. He's not letting the ball play him, and look at him take the bad hop and go right off his arm.
Now we'll wait for the verdict of the 3 scorers. Red Foley of the New York Daily News, Dave Nightingale of the Sporting News, Charlie Scoggins of the Lowell, Massachusetts Sun. And the judgment is not reflected on the scoreboard as yet. The one thing for McDowell, he's not very lucky tonight, and it's now going to be flashed a hit. So the bad hop single off the left arm of Kevin Elliott. So they have him bunt, and it's a good bunt. McDowell makes the play, and down to second goes Henderson.
Clemens is being called back, it seems like.
They are going to the bench, and Mike Greenwell will be the hitter. Show you how long ago it was when the Red Sox won a World Series. Look at what it cost to buy things. It's also interesting that the last time the Red Sox won the World Series, 1918, in March of that year, Congress enacted legislation for the clocks to be moved 1 hour in order to serve and save electric energy. It was called daylight saving time, March 31st. So just as the Red Sox are trying to turn back the hands of time tonight, we remind you to turn back the hands of your clock before going to bed tonight. Turn it back 1 hour. So Roger goes 7 innings and goes out winning 3-2. And he'll give the ball to Calvin Schiraldi. But right now, here's Mike Greenwell. And he chased another one. And Carter will tag him out. So Greenwell strikes out on a couple of very good breaking balls. Henderson holding at second. But now you have Wade Boggs and Davy Johnson going out to the mound. Remember, Orozco had been throwing, but I think he would rather hit for McDowell and then use Orozco. So let's see about walking Boggs and going head-to-head with Marty Barrett. There's Orozco just sitting quietly on the bench, number 47.
It's one of those spots. Johnson was out there so quickly, I mean, away from discussion, that he's probably just want to say, hey, look, you got a base open, Barrett's coming up. How do you feel? And it's McDowell's answer that dictates the move.
Wade Boggs singled off Knight's glove in the first inning and scored. Had a hit-and-run single when Backman broke to cover second as Owen was running. And Boggs hit it behind Backman into right center. In the 4th inning, he grounded to short. And in the 6th inning, he hit into a force play, rolling the ball again to Backman. Missed inside, ball 2.
They're going to put him on. He got to, huh?
I would think. I don't know why they'd fool around with him at all.
Well, they thought maybe he'd chase that real bad ball. Once he got him 2 balls and no strikes, they'll put him on.
The Major League's leading hitter?
Well, you take a chance. I mean, you don't know. Sometimes in the World Series, funny things do happen, and maybe he would chase that first bad ball and the second one, but now with 2 balls and no strikes, you can't afford to take a chance.
No, indeed. So Boggs goes to first. Henderson is at second, and with 2 out, here's that man Barrett again, the thick of it. He scored the go-ahead run in the 7th inning when he led off the inning against McDowell and walked. He's had 2 singles, and the one time they retired him, he hit a line drive right at Lenny Dykstra in center field.
Did you see that average? It's like a playground average. 458.
Now he's really in trouble, 3-0, and on deck, Bill Buckner.
He walks in, he may force Davey to make a move.
And he doesn't want to do it because then he'd have to hit for Orozco since he's leading off the bottom of the 8th. And he's way outside to load him up. Now let's see if that forces Davy Johnson's hand and ruins his strategy. Do you blow everything? Well, he can't afford to wait, evidently. Will he make 2-for-1 switch? Well, the last man to make out was his shortstop, but he's already used Santana. So Johnson almost forced here because of the bad hop single and then this walk, and he has to bring in Orozco, and he hates to do it. The whole idea was to hit from McDowell and have Orozco pitch the 9th inning, but he can't do it. Jesse Orozco is forced into the game at this juncture to get Bill Buckner for the 3rd out because the Sox, leading 3-2, have loaded the bases. Orozco, a 3/4 style pitcher who will drop down against left-handers. Pretty good fastball, a very good slider, and he's even throwing a few split-fingered fastballs.
He comes from first base when he's sidearmed, especially with the breaking ball. He'll back you out of the box, which is what he did to Buckner when he faced him before.
Henderson, Boggs, and Barrett out on the line. High fly ball. Dykstra has it under control. 1 pitch for the big out, and 3 are left. And at the end of 7½, 3-2 Red Sox. Roger Clemens was given a 2-0 lead and was pitching a no-hitter for 4 innings. The Mets finally got to him for hits and 2 runs to tie the game in the 5th, but they really let him off the hook, and he fought his way out of a corner. With a run in and runners at 1st and 3rd, Danny Heap hit into a double play. In the 6th inning, with the score tied, the Mets had runners at 1st and 3rd, and Gary Carter was caught looking. And then Darryl Strawberry hit into a 4th play. And then the error by Ray Knight is now the difference in the game, and Clemens gives the ball to Calvin Schiraldi. Schiraldi, the former Met, who had the penthouse and basement existence in Anaheim, is now asked to get the last 6 outs of the World Series. And standing in his way, first off, is Lee Mazzilli for this performance. Fastball full to the hole. Base hit into right field for Mazzilli. The tying run is aboard. This crowd has reason to cheer. 39 times this year, the Mets came from behind to win. And remember, they set a Mets record of 55 victories at home. And Mazzilli, after questioning Johnson, got the answer, "You're the runner." There's the bunt. Schiraldi's going to go to second in the dirt. Everybody's safe.
He's a bit undecided. His only play, first base, he throws a sinker.
Until we hear otherwise, it is not a sacrifice. I think a good throw would have gotten a man. 2nd in the league in sacrifice bunts this year. The bunt is down. Schiraldi has to go to 1st.
He would have had a play at 3rd, but Boggs had to come in because of Backman, and therefore could not get back to the bag in time, with Mazzilli coming down to 3rd, and Schiraldi's only play was to 1st. The bunt comes right back to Schiraldi. Now he looks at 3rd. He's got to play, but luckily he doesn't throw because Boggs couldn't get back. And he makes the 1 sure out. Now look where Boggs is, and that's the key to this play. He starts in and says, "I better get back," but Schiraldi sees he's not back to the bag and wisely goes to 1st.
1 out, 2nd and 3rd. And for the 3rd time tonight, the Mets have a golden opportunity. Stanley and Sambito are throwing in the Red Sox bullpen. Hernandez and Carter are due up. Keith Hernandez flies to center, fouled out to 3rd, and singled in the 6th inning. 3-2 Red Sox. Bottom of the 8th.
And the Mets trying to come back.
I doubt if he gets a chance to hit here.
So Hernandez will get 4 wide ones. That takes the bat right out of his hand. And Gary Carter will have his second golden chance. You remember Carter in the 6th inning with the game tied had runners at first and third and was called out on strikes. In a moment he'll be coming up with the bases loaded and 1 out. And the chant, Gary, Gary, and the people are up. And Shea Stadium is a madhouse. Will kill you.
Marty Barrett asking for a strike. That's all he's asking for.
Swung on and lined to left, right at Rice. Tagging up is Mazzilli to score, and down to third goes Dykstra. It's a brand new ball game.
Davy Johnson gambling 3-0 for a base hit, got the sacrifice fly. Rice's high throw allowed Dykstra to go to third.
And boy, does that take a lot of weight and a lot of heat and a lot of pressure off the on-deck hitter, Ray Knight. He's off the hook. Now Darryl Strawberry with runners at first and third in a 3-3 tie in the bottom of the 8th. Hernandez is going on a fly ball to right field. Evans looking over at Henderson. It's Henderson. But the Mets scratched for 1 run, 1 hit. There were 3 sacrifices. 3-3 in the 8th. We go to the 9th inning. All tied 3-3. The Mets make the 2-for-1 switch. Lee Mazzilli, who batted for Jesse Orozco, stays in the game and goes into right field. Rick Aguilera is the new pitcher, and he will pitch in Darryl Strawberry's spot. In the 9th, the Red Sox will have Jim Rice, Dwight Evans, and Rich Gedman. It is interesting that before the League Championship Series, before the playoffs with Houston, backup catcher Ed Hearn of the Mets said, I have a hunch the guy who's going to play a big part in the League Championship Series and the World Series will be Rick Aguilera. Well, here he is, tied up in the 9th inning of a must-win game for New York. It was ruled a sacrifice fielder's choice. No error. Rice strikes out. There's a breaking ball. And Elster bobbles, picks it, drops it, and the kid's burned. An error. Remember, Danny Heap batted for Rafael Santana in the 5th inning and hit into a double play. And young Kevin Elster is there, and he can't handle it. Right out of the glove, and then out of the hand.
You can see he had it. He felt he had it all away when you saw him pat that glove going after it. But once it popped out of there, he just couldn't find the hand.
And it's a busted bat, ground ball. Backman feeds Elster, and he goes to Hernandez. Fasten your seatbelts. It's 3-3, bottom of the ninth. The Mets have left 5 men on. And you can see the rally caps are now in order as the Mets bench turns the caps around. Ball 4. To get it is Gedman and throws not in time, and we have our first argument of the series. He was on the bag, John said. You can't blow that call. On that blast bag. Why? You couldn't have seen it, John said. Here it is again. You be the judge. What the Red Sox contention was to Jim Evans, you couldn't have seen that Owens was on the bag. And Jim Evans said, I saw it. And the Sox said, you couldn't have seen it if you called him safe. Apparently they wanted Evans to talk to another umpire. Here's the play. You can see him coming off the bag. So Jim Evans was right there to call it. And now the Mets have first and second and nobody out in the bottom of the ninth in a tied-up game. Howard Johnson will be coming up to bat for Kevin Elster. Howard Johnson. And the Sox hold another meeting, so once again we can take a look at our first truly controversial play of the series.
Barrett is claiming that he had his foot on the bag when he had the ball.
And I could read McNamara's lips saying to Evans, you couldn't have seen it. But Jim was right there. There's the foot.
There's Evans' position. He's in perfect position. Barrett is sure of it. Look at him.
Maintaining, of course, that the sliding night had obscured his vision. There will be an error charge to Rich Gedman. Trying to move the men along. Missed it. 0-1.
And I'll tell you, everybody in the ballpark looking for bunt, but Davey controls the situation.
1 ball and 1 strike to Howard Johnson. Ground ball foul to Bill Robinson. Surprising. They have Hojo up there swinging. Bottom of the ninth and nobody out. And you have a left-hand hitter, Mazzilli, on deck. Then another left-hand hitter, Dykstra and Backman. So Davies rolled the dice with Howard Johnson. 1-2. Tipped. He struck out. On a check swing that ticked the bat, Johnson strikes out. 1 very big out. And Lee Mazzilli coming up.
And unless he gets that run in, Davies on the firing line once again. That foul tip, the ground ball now, and you're out of the inning.
So Johnson failing with the other Johnson now has Mazzilli. who had the single to open up the 8th inning and scored on Carter's line drive to Jim Rice to tie it up. High drive into right field, hooking down in the corner, foul. High fly ball into left field, going back on it is Rice on the track to handle it. And of course, after that play with Johnson, had he bunted, your winning run would have scored on that. 2 down. Knight still at second base. And the batter is Lenny Dykstra. Ball 3, a throw back, and Knight just got under the tag by Barrett.
If the throw's on the shortstop side, they got him. Barrett got over there in good shape. It was one of those I'll be there plays. Nothing set before that. Now Gedman's throw, he spots it. He almost has to move out to get away from Dykstra. If it's on the shortstop side, they got him.
Now Ray Knight, who was cheating, trying to get the extra steps in the event of a base hit, is now given the luxury because of the off-the-line throw. He will be in motion 3-2. So what a big play that was.
That ball was there ahead of him. It's just a little bit on the wrong side.
The runners go on a fly ball to left field. Jim Rice is there. And we're going to extra innings. And the key play in the inning, besides the throw to second, Davy Johnson's option to not bunt with Howard Johnson. And the Mets leave 2. They've left 7 in the game. And at the end of 9, a 3-3 tie. The game at shortstop, Dave Henderson will lead it off. Would you like to roll back the clock to Game 5? The Sox were 1 strike away from being eliminated when Henderson took a Donnie Moore pitch and hit it out. And Anaheim, that was 1 pitch away from celebrating. Henderson broke Gene Mauch's heart. Now it's 3-3 in the 10th. And a drive to left. Going back on it is Mookie Wilson, and this one is gone. Henderson has done it again. And a note on Rick Aguilera. He gives up the most home runs on the staff.
It looked like a fastball, and there you see Roger Clemens, and look at this bench.
And it is 4-3 Red Sox on the lightning-like home run of Dave Henderson.
He knew when he touched it off, and what a difference in the swing between this one on Aguilera and Ojeda.
A strike to Spike Owen, who is 3 for 3.
You think that Henderson hasn't been on a roll?
Just look at him.
Come on.
1-2. And just to switch what we said the other night, it's so quiet in New York you can almost hear Boston. That takes care of Spike Owen. 1 out in the 10th inning. Rick Aguilera. And of course that home run does a lot of things, and among others, here comes Calvin Schiraldi. It looked like Baylor was going to hit for him until Henderson ripped it. That takes care of Schiraldi. So 2 out in the 10th. And that's hit in the alley in left center, but it's slicing, and Mookie can't get it. It's going to the wall. Boggs into second base with a stand-up double. And it's hit into center, base hit. Dykstra charging. Here comes Boggs. He will score. The throw backed up by Aguilera, and Barrett goes to second. And it is 5-3 Red Sox. And what a big run that was.
Well, the scouting report says run on the Met outfielders, and Hernandez, as we mentioned, was trying to get Dykstra to move in, but with 2 outs, Bob's broke at the crack of the bat, and Dykstra's throw so high, nobody can cut it off. They pick up the extra base. And there again is Barrett. That is the 5th time he's been on base tonight.
So Marty Barrett puts extra weight on the Mets dugout, and here is Bill Buckner. Barrett taking second on that high throw to the plate. Buckner lined out to right, flied to center and to right, ground.
Is that ever going to be a long press conference for Davy Johnson if it ends like this?
In the bottom of the 9th inning, Ray Knight walked. Mookie Wilson bunted. The throw to second was high by Gedman. Jim Evans ruled that Owens was off the bag, and there was first and second, nobody out. A bunt puts the winning run at third base. But Davy Johnson opted to have Howard Johnson swing away, and he eventually struck out. Foul ball. And then, as so often happens after one decision, something immediately happens to make you rue the decision. Mazzilli, a fly ball deep to left that would have scored the winning run. But instead, the runners held at first and second. And when the Mets did not seize the opportunity, the Red Sox did in the 10th inning. Hit him. So Buckner is nailed by the pitch, and that will bring up Jim Rice.
There's nothing you can do when that ball is right there.
Left fielder, Jim Rice.
So Buckner at first, Barrett holding at second, and Jim Rice coming up. And that's line to right. Mazzilli has a bead on it and puts it away. But the Red Sox come up with 2 big runs on a single, double home run. And at the end of 9 1/2, Red Sox 5, Mets 3.
You see the difference in that guy's swing against him and Ojeda? Oh, man.
If Howard Johnson is good enough to swing, how come he wasn't?
5-3 Red Sox, and Wally Backman a strike. Backman is 1 for 3. Schiraldi trying to finish off the Mets and the 1986 baseball season. 0-2 to Wally Backman. Little poke job to left. Rice coming over. 1 away. It is tough enough to lose. It is a long enough winter anyway. But when you have made a decision and it will stick in your craw all winter, it will make the offseason almost interminable. And that's the life of a big league manager. Here's Keith Hernandez. Flied to center, fouled out, single to center, walked intentionally. 1 for 3. And that's hit to dead center with Henderson going to run it down. And the Mets are down to their last out.
Here's the catcher, Gary.
Tonight's NBC Miller Lite Player of the Game is Marty Barrett. Miller Lite happy to present a check for $1,000 in the name of Marty Barrett to the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. Marty had 3 singles and 2 walks. Handled everything hit his way. Kevin Mitchell is on deck to bat for Rick Aguilera, and Gary Carter at the plate. Carter had 2 great chances. As we go back through the history books, and the Red Sox are 2 strikes away. In 1918, when the Red Sox won, each player received $1,000 as the winner share. This year, each player will get more than $70,000. 1-1. The oil can, at least for the moment, looks like he has tomorrow off. Henderson joining Carlton Fisk with dramatic 6th-game home runs. And Roger Clemens hoping for that last out. Lined into left field, base hit for Carter, and the Mets are still alive. Hit number 2 off Schiraldi, number 6 for New York, and with 2 out, representing the tying run, Kevin Mitchell. Carter at first. Curveball, and that's going to be hit to center, base hit. And now suddenly with 2 out in the 10th inning, the tying runs are aboard, and Ray Knight will be the batter. Those hands have been very important for 24 victories during the regular year. They were very important for 7 innings tonight. And now all Roger Clemens can do is fold them and watch. I talked to Calvin Schiraldi. And, of course, that second run that appeared to be window dressing, the double by Boggs and the single by Barrett, that second run now becomes a tremendous weight around the necks of the Mets.
There really isn't a whole lot of strategy right about now. He's just reminding everybody of the situation. The big guy is Mitchell over there at first base.
The Mets left 2 men on base in the 8th. They left 2 men on base when they had a chance to win it in the 9th, and they have 2 men on base in the bottom of the 10th. Little roller up along third. Boggs is going to let it roll. It goes foul. Knight comes back to hit with the count no balls and 2 strikes. Each team playing fast and loose with the baseball, as the error column would indicate. Zambito and Stanley. And that's going to be hit into center field, base hit. Here comes Carter to score, and the tying run is at third in Kevin Mitchell. And the Mets refuse to go quietly. With 2 out, they come scrambling back with consecutive hits by Carter, Mitchell, and Knight. And John McNamara goes to the mound. 5-4 Red Sox, and he's also going to the bullpen. He wants Bob Stanley to pitch to Mookie Wilson. So the Mets, 39 times they came from behind to win, are battling to stay alive. Calvin Schiraldi couldn't do it, and it's up to Bob Stanley, and it's up to Mookie Wilson, and the crowd is alive again, and Rick Aguilera praying that he'll get off the hook. Mookie Wilson struck out, single to right, grounded out, and then sacrificed. And that was the bunt that Gedman fielded and threw high to Spike on at second base.
Dale Ford just checked that ball, rubbing it. Now he's going out to talk to Stanley. I wonder what that's all about.
Stanley throws, among other things, a palm ball. You have the tying run 90 feet away in Kevin Mitchell, and the possible winning run at first in Ray Knight. And here's Mookie. Fouled off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ball 2. Howard Johnson, who had that most important at-bat in the 9th inning. Fouled away, 2-2. Fouled away again. Fouled away. And it's going to go to the backstop. Here comes Mitchell to score the tying run, and Ray Knight is at second base. Wilson. And he pops it in the air, foul off to the right. Gedman coming over. He will not have a play. That was a wild pitch.
Way inside, Gedman reaches for it. You see he hardly moved as far as shifting, and it gets by him, a wild pitch. Apparently not near where he was looking for the pitch.
5-5 in a delirious 10th inning. Line drive foul.
And Marty Barrett was out of position because they had Knight really picked off, but Stanley didn't see him. There it is again. You see, he just reaches for the ball. Down goes Mookie. It kind of sailed inside. And here comes Barrett in to talk to Stanley, because had Mookie hit just a weak ground ball, Barrett was way out of position because they had a good chance to get Knight at second base.
Can you believe this ball game at Shea?
Oh, brother.
So the winning run is at second base with 2 out, 3-2 to Mookie Wilson. Little roller up along first, behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
me to go over there and...
If one picture is worth 1,000 words, you have seen about 1,000,000 words. But more than that, you have seen an absolutely bizarre finish to Game 6 of the 1986 World Series. The Mets are not only alive, they are well, and they will play the Red Sox in Game 7 tomorrow. Let's go down on the field in this madhouse to Marv Albert.
And it is a madhouse. The Mets were one strike away from elimination. Mookie, have you ever seen anything like this?
This whole postseason play has been unbelievable, but you got to give credit to the guys. We don't give up, and nice to perfect us out. We could have used to fold it, but everybody battled back. It was up to me to do my part, and I did the best I could.
What went through your mind as you saw that bouncer going in the direction of first baseman Bill Buckner?
My only thought was to beat the pitcher there, and I thought I had a good chance of beating the pitcher, and I think Buckner saw that too, so maybe tried to rush a little bit, and that was it. I knew it wasn't a very hard-hit ball, but it had the angle and the spin.
All right, and off the angle and the spin, the man to my right, Ray Knight, scored the winning run, and Ray, you are totally exhausted.
Marv, I am. This is an emotional thing. Physically, you get tired, but mentally, after I made that error and gave him the go-ahead run, I just never felt worse in my life, and I just kept hoping that I'd get up there. This is a game of redeeming features, and thank the good Lord I had the opportunity, and then I wasn't the GOAT. But you don't care about making errors, but you want to win, and we put our heart into this, and I'm just exhausted. I'm happy, but I've never been more tired than I am right now.
Ray, you mentioned the word GOAT. You went from potential GOAT to hero with the bad throw in the 7th inning.
Well, no doubt about it. I laid back on the ball to get the good hop, and it took a little funny hop, and I had a bad grip on it and threw it wild. You never want to make an error in that situation. And I said, if there's any justice in this world with the season I've had and what I came back from, I'll get a chance. And I got that chance, and the good Lord is on my side. Didn't hit the ball that good, but it went in there for me, and here we are winning. And I don't worry about the error. I'll never worry about that error again, but it's been a tough winter for me had we not come back.
All right, 2 outs, 10th inning. You're down by 2 runs. You guys are sitting on the bench. You were down. Did you think it was all over?
I didn't. I honestly didn't. I came in and I said, we've scored 2 runs before, guys. Let's just get it going. Even with 2 outs, I really said a little prayer to get Gary a base hit. He got the base hit, and Mitch got the big hit. I got 0-2, and I just tried to concentrate, and I didn't get much of the ball. I got a hit. We've come back all year when we've had to. I know the character in this ball club, Marv, and I never say die with this club, and I'm not surprised. I just thank the good Lord, because you just wonder how many times it can happen.
All right, what does the victory here tonight mean for a 7th game tomorrow night?
I think it's the way that we won it. We came from behind, which is the first time I think a team in this series has come from behind to win a ball game. And I don't believe in such things as momentum, but I do believe that mentally we got to be really up for tomorrow after coming off and beating the advance. And we have to take all can now, and we got a pretty good pitch ourselves going.
All right, do you feel good about going against a guy like Oil Can Boyd, who certainly has had his ups and downs and had his difficulties against the Mets at Fenway?
Well, I tell you what, if you don't feel good about getting into Game 7 after being 2 runs down with 2 outs, boy, what can we ask for? It's like a rebirth, and we just come out tomorrow, and everything has to turn to our side. But we know the same thing can happen to us. Plenty game. I'm thankful we're there tomorrow. I can't think anymore. I'm numb.
All right, 2 of tonight's Met heroes, Ray Knight and Mookie Wilson. Let's get back upstairs to Vin and Joe.
All right, Marvin, as we see a study in contrast, an 11th hour reprieve for Davy Johnson.
To an end, but such is the case, and already players and managers are busy with other things.